Music is known as a universal language. We all hear it, many embrace it, and then there are those who create it. Musicians these days are embracing the technological advances to compose and perform like never before. Technology has significantly changed the way we record and produce music these days. From 8 tracks to Pro Tools, MIDI controllers like Native Instruments Machine, MPCs, and full orchestra and choir samples right at your fingertips. These advances in technology allow performers and producers of all skill levels the opportunity to create the next hit song.
I've been playing music since I was in the 5th grade, and I started writing music when I was in college. That was back in the mid-1970s.
I started playing trumpet in 1958, 5th grade.
I've been playing music since 5th grade, and don't ask me when that was, because that was a long time ago. But 5th grade through high school, and by professionally, I guess if you will, from 1991 till now. So this is my 25th year.
Oh my gosh, I've been playing for 17 years. I've been writing for about 7 of those.
When I started recording music, we were just using a 4-track recorder, similar to the one that the Beatles used when they recorded Sgt. Pepper. That gives you limitations based on today's standards. You can literally have an endless amount of tracks. You've got a lot of plugins, all kinds of special effects, different mics that you can go with. You can sample different mics for different sounds. And then the digital editing process is way different than the way we used to edit on tape. I think you're finding that the creative process with technology has greatly enhanced composers and musicians, and now a lot of folks just record their stuff at home. They set up a home studio, they go in a garage, a basement, places like that, and they have tremendous technology at their fingertips.
I remember back to my days traveling with the Commodores. We didn't have iPods or iPads or digital cameras. I mean, I can remember carrying a big old boom box with big headphones on the bus to listen to cassettes. If I were doing that today, I could get everything on my phone.
Yeah, it's just like everything else. It's just become so much easier with technology, so you're able to reach the kids who don't want to play an instrument, and maybe they just want to compose. And now you have so many sequencing programs. You have programs that students can, like Smart Music, where they can play along, and the computer tells them which notes they actually played right or wrong.
Technology has helped immensely. Not just with the playing part, but also the learning part. Music theory could be more interactive, and there's a lot more tools out there that were still kind of known, but it's everywhere now because of the World Wide Web, and you can access any of that, and you can learn from it. So I would say it's been more beneficial as a learning tool.
The biggest influence on me would have to be the Beatles. I remember watching them on the Ed Sullivan Show when they first came over. I was just a little guy, but at that time I heard this whole new sound. I saw the reaction of the folks. It was hysteria and amazing sounds. And music had grown so much from when the Beatles introduced their sound to what was prior to their sound, and then it evolved and grew. And at that point I made the decision that I wanted to become a professional musician.
One of my favorite trumpet players is Doc Severinsen. Just a great player, and been around for years, and he's still playing strong. I believe he's like 83 years old. And another big influence on me was my high school band director, Alex Costanza.
You have the modern people as like Norman Brown on guitar, Gerald Albright on saxophone. David Sanborn's always been one of my favorite saxophone players, Boney James, so you have the smooth jazz guys both on guitar and saxophone.
I would say Chris Tomlin, Matthew West, Hillsong, pretty much anything that you hear on the Christian radio. I take that and kind of use that as a template or example for what I do in the studio. Musically influenced from my roots, like way back, I was influenced by Mozart, Beethoven. I listened to a lot of the classical music, and I actually didn't know any rock music or blues music until after I graduated from high school.
Music has changed my life in a lot of ways. As far as music goes, I think that I just can't imagine life without music, and I think if you can play a part of that, then that can be huge. And now I run the jazz ensemble at the College of Southern Maryland. It's a big band jazz ensemble with 20 members on average, and there's a lot of community folks in there. We have college students, we have high school students, and we have a lot of friendships, and then we are able to share a lot of things musically together as well, and that's a wonderful time. It's a time that, again, I wouldn't trade that for anything.
I've often felt blessed that I've been able to do most of my life, almost all of my life, adult life, what I've wanted to do.
Music has really helped keep me grounded as far as, perspective on life in general, when you see other things going on, and just the interaction with a number of people, just in Charles County alone, that I've been able to interact with.
It's just kind of like food to me. It's like you don't just not eat or drink, you have to survive. Well, music to me is that same thing. There's such great power in music, and I've always felt that way, but after I received Christ and the Lord showed me more about music, I got to really understand Him through music, and that is my closest relationship right now, is with God through worship music.
I hope that my music will have a positive influence on the world. I hope that it will enable people to maybe think of things that were meaningful to them, to be able to look back and look at the joys and the wonderful parts of life. When we play music, we stand on a stage by ourselves with our instrument, but really there's an entire community behind us. We have our parents, our family, those who helped us, got us started, supported us. We have our instructors, we have all of our colleagues and our friends who are in the ensembles, and every experience you carry that with you. So really you see one person up there, but you have an entire universe of folks going with you. And when you can do that and you can embrace that, and then you can perform that for others, hopefully at some level you'll be able to appeal to them, and hopefully that level will be positive, and it'll help make a difference in their lives, maybe help motivate them in some way, maybe help encourage them in some way, maybe let them look back and remember a nice day that they spent out with their family, or when they first fell in love, or any kind of a wonderful emotion. Music can have, sadness and anger and those types of things as well, but I think most of the time music tends to end with some type of a positive resolve, and ultimately I think that reflects on how we would like our lives to live, that not only our music but just our place on this earth had some type of a positive impact on those around us.
That I finished the piece, finished the race. I really don't know how to answer that one.
I don't know that I'll necessarily ever see whatever impact I've made. Right now, I'm hoping that it's just, I can help, in the current job, help kids and teachers, help teachers to offer the same experiences that I received and that kids have received in music programs for decades, is to make sure that that continues. So hopefully we'll be able to have as many kids as possible go through the program.
I want people to come to know Christ. When people see the gift that God has given me, I want them to see a reflection of Him, because we're all made in His image. But especially in the music that I record here at the studio, I believe wholeheartely that somebody will stumble across that, and they'll see God in that. That's really the most important thing. If you really think about it, that is the essence of any of our gifts, our charisma gifts, or our gifts of authority in any way. It's always a gift from God, because He's the one that gives all good things. So for that, I want Him to receive the glory for everything that I do.